3, 2, 1.
And Mountcastle lofts this down the left field line. That's going to drop in there for a base hit. And Santander will walk home and score. Mountcastle to second base. That's another extra base hit. An RBI double for Mountcastle. And it's 3-0 Baltimore. And Mountcastle lofts this down the left field line. That's going to drop in.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome to the Monday Sports Day program. Steve Webster with you in studio today, along with Mike Corson and Mike Hesher on the show. You know, Mike Corson, it's really disheartening when the operations manager that's supposed to oversee these things happening, when we have a big malfunction, I can just see his shoulders over there laughing.
He thinks it's funny.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that picture? Hesher?
You're the one that always tells me when
Mountcastle.
you gotta come in.
I can play the Montcastle highlight, and that's it. It locked up, my friend.
The power outage.
Yeah.
I went to get a pizza, and the power outage cost me a pizza. I had put it in before, so it wasn't in the order. So I go to get my pizza, and they're like, yeah, because of that power outage, nothing from before is showing up.
That's got to be real disappointing.
Bologna sandwich it is.
I guess I've just got civilian problems right now. Yeah, okay. Well, we had some good sounds the past 24 hours or so lined up, but we don't now.
Well, why don't you could entertain us and just do them yourself. You got any Tom Hamilton in there? We can just yell a bunch.
Tom Hamilton.
Can you reboot it and we'll just talk while you reboot it?
Is that your solution? That's usually the solution for everything else. And we don't need them. We don't need 'em.
Okay.
Okay. On the show today, we're going to be talking with Barton pitching coach Brett McBride. Brett's in. We talk about the 4-game series that the Cougars had with Coffeyville. They ended up splitting the 4-game series and now get ready for first place Hutchinson, who rolls into town on Wednesday. They moved that up a day because of expected rainy weather, so they'll have a doubleheader at Lawson Biggs Field on Wednesday, and then they'll wrap up that series on Friday, and then next week a 4-game series with Garden City, 2 in Garden, 2 in Great, and then the regular season's over with. We're almost to postseason baseball, so we'll talk to Brett about that. Great Bend Tribune sports editor Jim Mazunas will be on the show, and Mike Corson goes
On the prowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're promoted.
Yeah, Aaron Clark is on assignment today. So, yeah, he's going to be talking with Great Bend track and field coach Lyles Lashley. So, weekend sports headlines and the sounds that you didn't hear of the past 24 hours. I am curious. So, this is a team building exercise for you guys. You both go to Kansas City this weekend. A perfect time to get together and bond at the Royals game on Saturday that you both attended. And yet, you didn't even attempt to see one another.
I thought about it.
I will have to say I thought about it too, but, we see each other 5 days a week. Do we need to see her 6th?
Well, okay, so we've got 2 different adventures here that we can talk about. Mike Corson's lasted exactly 2 innings.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour drive home, long weekend, a lot of work to do. Hoping for a quick game. Reagan strikes out the side in the first, and then there weren't even 7 quick runs. It was 7 of the variety that take a while. So I'm like, if the Royals come back, because I was already going to leave 5th or 6th inning, but I'm like, nah, they're probably going to lose. I'm out of here. So then I check out the radio and at the Wamego exit, it's still 7-0. So I'm like, awesome decision. I'm going to make it home by 11 o'clock. Check it out. 30 minutes later, it is 8-7. No. But it's not like I watch it at home.
Okay, so people are saying, wow, so you must have been on, did you have radio station tickets?
No,
Oh, you didn't?
but I was up at the KU relays. They had a couple nice giveaways.
Okay.
And it turns out my sister and nephew were going anyway, so I was only an hour out.
Okay, so you decided to bolt after 2 innings on tickets that you'd bought.
Correct.
Okay, probably
$20 parking, it stings.
probably the reason you didn't have radio station tickets is because Mike Hesher did.
I did not have radio tickets.
What's wrong with you guys? So what was your experience like?
Do you really? Okay.
You
so-
want to know Mr. Grumpy here? He said, if they would have given me that ring, I would have told them just to keep it.
I would have. I did not
The
earn
American
it.
League Championship ring.
You have to earn it to wear it. Come on. Okay, so now you're getting me fired up. I'm sorry. So this is the story. I missed the top of the first inning because I'm in line waiting for sliders. So Reagan strikes out, the 3 batters. I'm thinking, okay. I make it to the bottom of the first. Second inning, 7 runs for the Orioles. I'm thinking, well, that wasn't very good. So I sit there through the top of the 7th inning. At the 7th inning stretch, everybody stands up. I go to the restroom. That's when the Royals score 4 more. I'm going, my daughter and her brother going, dude, you need to leave because they're having all this luck without you. So that's where
You
it was.
must be a senior if it takes you like a 4-run inning to just go to the bathroom.
I wasn't coming back. I like to stand. I don't like to sit there. I feel that word.
That word, man, that is a bad. Okay.
But that's the other kicker. So going by myself, I just wanted a good seat, affordable, because I wanted the giveaways. So I get to my seat,
So
and
you went to just get that.
pretty much. Since I would have never driven 4 hours, I don't think, but since I was in the neighborhood. So I get to my seat. You know how nobody shows up before the game? No, the whole section is full except for one seat. I'm like, hey, is that seat 7? Yep. I'm like, yeah, not a chance I'm sitting in that thing. So I actually went up to the upper deck with my sister and nephew and thought about standing in the free concourse section, but it was chilly. It was 7-0, 4 hours home. I'll go back when it's nice out.
Swing and a ball hit into right field. That's down. A double.
So you
Brian
missed
Montcalf.
Salvy's home run. He crushed that ball. Holy moly.
I heard that on the radio. He cleared 281 in Iuka. Anyway, they gave him a 3-0 lead. That the one highlight you did here. So the Royals end up getting beat 5-0. I thought it was a good competitive series. I said on Friday that this was significant. I mean, it's an early season test. And now they get Toronto 1st of 4 tonight. So I think the Royals showing they can compete. Seth Lugo wasn't going to continue and not give up a home run the entire season.
And I said, last week, offense is still a concern. The starting pitching's been getting them the wins when you're scoring 2 runs a game. So this was their first time they've been shut out. That's a plus. I believe that's probably longer than usual.
You think? Yeah. So it will be the Royals and Blue Jays going at it tonight. We'll start at 6.
But what people forget about Saturday night, the bullpen goes 6 1/3 innings with giving up only 2 runs. They held them in the game.
Yeah, and Reagan's, has been so solid and then, had a flat tire. So it's fun to see at this time of year that you'll see somebody start. Garrett Crochet of the White Sox has just been lights out. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, we're going to start charting him. See, this is what's coming. And then he's been lit up the last 2 times. You have just got to continue to make adjustments all the time.
Yeah, and Baltimore's got the little kid. I think he's about 20 years old. I think second base maybe. I think he was 1 for 31 to start his major league career. But you're like, hey, you're 20 years old playing in the bigs. That's okay. They brought you up for a reason.
Yep.
He had a very good series. Was that the one that had the good series? Westerhouse or not Westerhouse? Yeah. What? What's his? I can't think of his name off. He had a very good series.
Jordan Westberg.
That would be the one,
Colton
yes.
Cowser with back-to-back home runs yesterday. So the Royals,
got one.
3 games back behind Cleveland, who's off to a surprising 16-6 start. And you look at the American League Central right now. The worst division in baseball, at least so far this season, is the American League West. Texas 12-11, with a half-game lead over Seattle, who's 11-11, and Houston is 7-16.
And it's unfortunate. That was the last game against Baltimore this year. So they've already played Chicago, 7 times? Baltimore, I think 6 times. It seems weird to front-load a schedule with so many of the same games, but especially if the Royals somehow are contenders late in the year and Baltimore's contenders, that would have been a nice series to see.
Playoffs.
I don't think that the Major League Baseball schedulers were looking at key matchups for the Royals in September. You know, who can we match them up with? They could be right in contention. It's just the way it spits it out now. Lars Luters, he was on the program last Thursday, new wrestling coach at Great Bend High School, saying he's ready to move back to the Western Athletic Conference. And so he's at Dodge for 11, and then he goes to Bishop Carroll, and then is out of coaching for a couple of years. He just, coaches kids wrestling and stuff, then comes back, gets 2 years at Salina Central. I mean, he's got a heck of a resume. And, well, anyway, Great Bend's got some good performers coming back from last year's team that ended up in 6th last year in the state.
And looking Salina Central, probably because of what he had helped do down there, they return the most points next year. So if Salina Central does well next year, that's going to be from his 2 years of coaching, quite likely. But the kicker I got from your interview last week was to Dodge City, straight out of college, while in college, get an offer from a 6A. Not sure they were preeminent at that time, but he helped build up Dodge City to be one of the strong white
Your
schools.
first job out of college?
Yeah.
They're handing you the keys to a 6A program? Yeah, that's pretty good. Some other sounds you didn't hear. Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics, head coach, said their bench played a key role in their win yesterday in the NBA playoffs, beating Miami 114-94. The Clippers beat Dallas 109-97. And Damian Lillard saying the team's depth carried them past Indiana 109-94. How about this game for Damian Lillard? Scored 35 points. All of them came in the first half. And then didn't get a point in the second half. Goofy stuff. Oklahoma City beat New Orleans 94-92.
Trying to say that somebody in the NBA made a defensive adjustment? I wonder how many times he shot. Maybe he just... What was the spread?
I don't know.
No, I mean, what was it? Was his over under 34, 35?
It was 36. Yeah,
Yeah,
Giannis is out,
uh-oh.
so he's going to get some more points.
And he had somebody placing a big bet for him on the side, right?
Yeah. I had this opportunity. Nelly Corda. Do you know who Nelly Corda is?
Do not.
Good, because you threw out those track and field names in the morning. I don't know. Nelly Corda on the LPGA Tour won her record-tying 5th straight tournament with a 2-stroke victory at the Chev. That's hard to do, win 5 straight tournaments. She joins Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam, the only players to win 5 consecutive LPGA events. And if I could play this one. but I
Scotty
can't.
Scheffler, right?
No.
Oh.
The call on KLAC in Los Angeles. Shohei Ohtani hits a 2-run homer to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead over the Mets in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And this was significant because he broke Hideki Matsui's record for the most homers hit by a Japanese-born player. So they had to change the baseballs
Already?
out So they had to change the baseballs out because it was a historic home run, right? I mean, we keeping track of that?
Okay,
I mean, is that going to be another part of the baseball thing? Okay.
I mean, Otani's only been around, 3-4 years?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
'Cause
Okay.
Ichiro Suzuki could
How
have
is that
some runs.
historic? Other than the fact he was a Japanese player.
Correct.
Oh.
Okay, but so
I mean, what's the record for white guy home runs? I mean, probably.
Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth.
Well, yeah. Roger Maris has the white guy saying, it's just silly.
So Craig Kimbrell in Kansas City the other night gets some record save, and it's a fly out to center field.
Hauser throws the ball into the fountain.
But they said he went and got it.
He went and got it because he went back in, and his manager was pretty. I mean, he kind of raked him over the coals. The press conference. He said, we've got to be more. We need to understand these milestones a little bit more.
Don't tell me the player went in and got it.
That's the word.
Really? Into the fountain?
You're a rookie, man, and you go in and you throw Craig Kimbrell's record-saving career saved. I don't even know what ball.
Isn't that trespass? Again, it's against the law to do that.
They're going to prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, he had a home run the next day. They should have prosecuted him.
Should have been in jail, darn it.
And Cowser, how about that? Okay, you go. He familiarized himself with those fountains because then he hit one into the fountain.
Did he go in and get that one?
Oh no!
It was his milestone 3rd home run of the season.
Let's go get it. There you go. The sounds that you did not hear of the weekend here on KVGB. We've got a lot of baseball and softball we'll talk about throughout the show. Give me the swimming.
So swimming opened the season in Salina, had the 200 medley relay team qualify. They were back in Salina. Water's treating them well, so they got the 200 freestyle relay team. That was Emily Hall, Josephine Mazouk, Sydney Krukenberg, and Meredith Mazouk. So they got automatic qualifying time. And then Emily Hall qualified in individual events, the 100 fly and the 100 back. And Josephine's, man, she's right there in that 50 free. But as we know in those short races, those cuts are pretty big to make.
Okay. Panther baseball. Great Bend goes 1-3 up at DeSoto. Got beat by St. Thomas Aquinas 10-0 on Friday, and then finished up by defeating Spring Hill 3-1. Then they knocked off or fell to DeSoto. That was a loaded tournament. 11-4. DeSoto, Spring Hill, and St. Thomas Aquinas all went last week. Were ranked in Class 5A. So, but they did better than Hayes. Hayes went and played 3 games and didn't score a run.
Yeah, I'm going to guess the pitching was pretty tough, but it was uncharacteristic for Great Bend. They're pitching lots of walks and some unearned runs in there, so I haven't seen that much this year.
Hayes got beat by Blue Valley Southwest 1-0. Then got beat by Gardner Edgerton 1-0, and then got beat by Shawnee Mission North 4-0.
So the frightening thing is that's a team in the WAC holding some probably pretty potent offenses also. It's a few runs, so that shows you what Hayes is dealing with.
Okay, Great Bend softball, they will be back in. Oh, by the way, the baseball team, they play at TMP tomorrow in a doubleheader. Lady Panthers softball, they'll be in Garden City tomorrow, a single game, and then they'll turn around and host Garden City for 2 on Thursday. Barton softball, 2-0 on Friday. They went to Northwest Tech, winning 22-2 and 14-5. Want to watch some softball today? Lady Cougars home to take on Otero from Colorado. Then they have Pratt on the road on Wednesday, and then they wrap up the regular season doubleheader against Hutch on Saturday. Barton baseball, we'll be talking with Brett McBride here momentarily. Splitting their 2 games at home last Thursday against Coffeyville, dropped 7-3 in the first game, rallied to win 9-4 in the second. And then on Saturday, Coffeyville jumped on them early 11-0 in the first game, and then Barton responding to pick up the nightcap 7-4. So Barton now is 32-16 overall. They're 14-10. So everybody's jockeying for position. You want to finish at least in the top 4 so you can host one of those best-of-3 first-round series against a team from the Jayhawk East. Okay, here's a state. Cloud County and Butler tied for second at 16-8. Then you have Barton and Dodge, who are 14-10. Seward sniffing around at 13-11. Hutchinson, like the Cougars did a year ago, running away with this thing right now. They're 24-4 in league play, 39-10 overall.
So what if the wind dies down once the postseason arrives? You have to bring out a wind machine to simulate what they've dealt with all season?
Well, it doesn't matter according to you because it's all about spin. The wind's not going to affect that ball at all.
I think it's drag is what he said.
It's drag,
It's
right?
drag.
Right.
Drag. Yeah.
So that pop-up that flies out of the park to right field after being hit almost straight up in the air is going to go out on a calm day as well, so it shouldn't make any difference.
I did read where there was, it can carry it an extra 30 feet. Well, I don't think those people were scientists, though.
Well, what does it do if you say the wind does not have any effect on the baseball?
It doesn't lift it.
Why did it say
Just
it's
doesn't-
lifted?
yeah, it just doesn't. So it's not carrying it out. It's just not slowing it down.
All right.
Yeah. That old argument.
It's always fun to bring up because I still don't understand it. Hesh, do you get that one?
No, sir.
Okay,
but I'm
Bert.
not a scientist.
Well, is Corson?
You think so?
He claims to be, yes. I don't know how to say that. I don't want to offend him, but he does.
All right, Brett McBride's coming in next here on Sports News.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Dance instructor.
Hi.
Your title just keeps getting longer all the time, so it lasts on one piece of paper.
I need a couple business cards now to get it out there.
And Dr. Eric Foley, Director of Choral Activities.
Yes, indeed.
I have no idea what's
Welcome back
going
to
on
the
here. Cashier, this thing's broken completely. Okay, we'll put that down. Power surge happening earlier. Coach McBride, glad you came in for all the chaos today. Good to see
We
you.
had a little one at the clubhouse earlier, actually, that flickered a little bit.
Yeah, they
too.
did everybody, and then we just got a recorded version of Cougar Paws there just a moment ago. Okay, all right, we're all right. So before you jump into Barton baseball, so we see pitchers each year in the major leagues come out. Cole Reagan's one. I mean, he's had a couple really good starts. And then maybe the Crochet from the White Sox, he came out in his starting role this year and hadn't started before. Lights out in his first 3. Now he's been lit up in the last couple of games. So talk about adjustments that are made that pitchers need to be aware of. Do they have to evolve along with what adjustments the hitters are making on them, or kind of the cat and mouse game, I guess? I don't understand.
Yeah, and at that level, I mean, it's enough at our level because we pretty much have everything on video with all the analytics at the big league level and all the information and data they can get. I mean, it would almost have to be. It's probably why you see a couple guys go on stretches where they're really good and then take a step back and then, they have to readjust. And I couldn't imagine all that data that they get at that level and trying to sift through that. And then you got to weigh, do I want to pitch to my strengths or their weaknesses? And I mean, at our level, I tend to always side on let's pitch to our strength rather than their weakness, but I'm sure at that level there's way more that goes into it.
So do you have video that you're watching? I mean, because, you're watching a pitcher. I mean, are you looking for he's maybe tipping some things every once in a while, or is that something you're always locked into another pitcher?
I would say that our offensive guys are a little bit better at that as coaches, just because they grew up and they they hit at a high level, so they were more on that. I think I could maybe – from the pitching side, I can kind of talk about what I would throw in that count or what I think would be thrown in that count. But as far as like picking up tendencies and stuff, I think, Coach Grover Bloomer, those guys that were offensive guys know that better. But, I think I can usually kind of get a pretty good feel of that pitcher's game plan after a few innings probably.
Do you watch for tendencies with your guys? I mean, if you're maybe,
Yeah, you do. And I don't know that again, it goes back to I never hit at a real high level, so I was never trying to pick those pitches. So I think I probably fail sometimes at that as far as if our guys are tipping pitches or not. But as far as falling into tendencies about pitch calling and things like that, that's probably a little more of something I'm a little better at and can pick up on. And that's why I really like our catchers calling the games too, because, they're going to see it differently than me than as a coach. And, maybe the pitch they call doesn't make the most traditional sense, but it's probably the best pitch to throw because then there is really no tendency there. So
I like that. I
Yeah.
mean, are a lot of people calling the pitches now?
Yeah, I would. At our level, it's not as bad, the junior college level, but if you go to that Division I level, and I'm taking a total guess here, I would say that it's over half, probably closer to 60-70% of those coaches are probably calling the games for those guys. But at our level, to me, one, you don't want to fall in too much of a rhythm, and the best coach is going to fall in that kind of rhythm there too, and you pick up tendencies. But we're trying to prepare these guys for the next level, and their coach may want to call pitches, they may not. But if we control everything they do, pitch calling wise, our catchers go to a different place, or even a pitcher that needs to come up with his own game plan, and they've never done that before, then we're doing those kids a real disservice, I think, at that next level.
Okay, so then the catchers go over the game plans and stuff like that?
Yeah, and what really helps at our level, too, is just the fall season that we
Okay.
have 20 games, and we can have, almost being the key word, every situation comes up in those pitch counts and calls and counts and just different tendency things. We can usually cover most of that in the fall. So,
Okay.
just my opinion, just how we like to do it. Makes
No,
the game
I
go
love it.
forward. I like the ownership that the pitcher and catcher have when they're coming up with their own plan, and we can just kind of sit in the background and be that resource for them.
Who wins the argument, pitcher or the catcher, when the catcher puts down a sign, I don't want to throw that?
Most of our guys are in pretty good sync. Again, it goes back to that fall, season where they get to work a lot together, and we'll make sure that everybody catches everybody in that. But even being a former pitcher myself, I think that you just trust the catcher. What is that? The wrong pitch thrown right is better than the right pitch thrown wrong. So if you just throw it with conviction and you're in sync with that guy, that's usually the move rather than second guessing everything.
Okay. Brett McBride with us right now. 4-game split with Coffeyville and the Red Ravens at home. They took the first game.
Yep.
You came back, get the nightcap, and then they jumped on you for 11 runs in the first one on Saturday, and then you come back and were able to get the win. I guess overall comments on the way the team played against the Red Ravens.
Yeah, Coach Martin over there, he's a guy that actually played with Coach Biggs and I here at Barton.
Oh, really?
We
Okay.
were freshmen, so we know him well, and their assistant actually played with at Emporia, so a lot of common relationships there. But we've played, it's supposed to be a random draw on who we get on our bye week from the east side, but we've had them every year but like once. So it just was worked that way, which is nice because we have a relationship with them. But I guess I say that to say this, we've always our bye has been middle to late, and you can just watch his teams get better every single year, and they never quit on him, and they always fight really, really hard. So while their record is not, pristine, I feel okay about the split. It's never your goal. You don't want to lower standards, but to lose the first game and then win the second game hopefully speaks to some of the resiliency that hopefully we're building, and we can carry that into the postseason when, you lose too much in the postseason, you don't get to play anymore.
Yeah.
So learning how to respond to those situations becomes more and more important as this thing goes on. So that was good to see. Obviously, you want to play a little better, getting on the field early, getting off the bus early over there, but the resiliency to come back and find a way to win those games when, it was pretty bleak over there after game one on Saturday. 11 runs. I don't know. We got run ruled. I don't know that we've ever played a game where we only pitched 4 innings. It's college baseball, but, when you play that bad, they don't let you play very long. So had some air stuff, didn't really respond behind it. And, that might have been as low as I've seen our group, after a game, and then to respond like that. Jaron Cotton hits a big home run for us in game 2. The pitching kind of holds on. Hopefully we can build off of that momentum there.
Okay, non-conference game, or Jayhawk East opponent doesn't count in the conference standings for you. But what was your mindset going into that 4-game set?
Oh, no different really. Obviously, coaching against a couple guys that you play with, you want to get those wins too. So that gets the competitive juices flowing. But it's also another quality opponent, and with our bye kind of coming a little later this year, last thing you want to do is kind of take a step back and take your foot off the gas. And it was really good to not be in a conference game, but, be in a game that was as competitive as a conference game with those guys over there.
Man, here we are, final 8 games of the regular season coming up. And there's quite a rush for second place right now. in the league. Man, it's just jumbled in there. There's 5 teams battling for that. I guess 6, maybe, not 5. Yeah, okay.
It's, we've been real blessed these last 3 or 4 years that we haven't had to be part of the jumbled up mess,
Yes.
but we've stubbed our toe a little bit here in some certain spots, and now we're down there fighting with everybody else for these positions in the postseason, and that's how it should be. It's a good league. It's just, like I said, we've been blessed to not really have to be in the mud with those guys these last few years, and now here we are, and and in a way it's fun because every game matters. You like to think when you're in 18, when we went to the World Series, we won the league, but it was a real tight race there. It came down to the last day. And, I think that really helped, having that mentality of playing for something every day down the stretch that really you can build into that regional and that postseason setting. And, when you start the season, you set your goals, and really one of those first goals is trying to stay in that top four. Because if you stay in that top four, the percentage chances of you winning that series and going to Wichita, which is everybody's goal, goes up a lot. So, we're right here with a chance to check off one of our major goals. But it's going to take everybody and a lot of work. And, I think 20 is probably the number. It's not always the number, but 20, usually you're pretty safe in there. So we need to go on a nice little run here to close this thing out.
Okay, now you're going to get the games have been moved up. We have Hutch on Wednesday, and then you're going back to Hutch on Friday. Then is that okay?
Yeah, here Wednesday, there Friday. Yep.
Okay, Hutch is having the season you had last year. I mean, just basically put this thing away. They've got a 6-game lead over Cloud County right now. So, what's been their secret this year?
I haven't seen a lot of them. Like we dive in, we kind of take it week to week as far as the scouting and stuff. But we did play them in the fall, and Coach Nels took over, in the middle of the summer over there. Coach Schmidt stepped away. So there's a lot of, questions of what they would be like. Knowing Brock for a long time, I know he would do a good job. And, last year you could kind of see it. They were a little down. And, when you're a program like Hutch Barton, one of these top ones, everybody's, you have a season where you win 32 games. Everybody thinks that, what's going on with those guys. But you could really see the talent that they had built over there. Coach Schmidt, kind of knowing Brock and those guys, he kind of kept that thing together for him, and they have a really nice group back. So maybe the lead they have right now, I would say that'd be surprising for anybody in our league because it's so competitive. But for them to be good, it wasn't a huge surprise to me from seeing them in the fall. They have a really nice group over there, and I know Brock and Seth pretty well. They're coaches, and they do a good job.
So what are they facing right now? Kind of back what you did last year a little bit. You get the end of the year where, they've got this huge lead. So.
Yeah, what's really unique for them, though, is they have the last conference bye. So, it feels like you're wrapping this thing up really, really early. And it's a product of how well they play, but it's also a product of having that last conference bye. So it's definitely kind of a unique situation over there. So,
yeah, so they wrap up their league this weekend then.
Well,
this week, I guess, but.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the extra motivation is, we've dogpiled the last couple of years, and I would rather them not dogpile on our field. So maybe that's a little extra motivation there to win both of those on Wednesday. So if they do clinch it, at least it's at their place, not ours.
That's the rule. You don't dogpile on our field.
Like I said, I played with Coach Biggs, and I both play with Brock Nels too here at Barton. So there's a lot of connections there, and in a way, I guess I have to be happy for him, but it's still Hutchison over there, right? Even though that's one of my good buddies.
Absolutely. So 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Friday. Pitching still hanging in there, set up the way you want it.
Yeah, it's health-wise, we're fine. It's just a matter of, we're sitting here. We got, 8 regular season games left. I don't feel like we necessarily have that consistency we've had in the past with which guy to go to, and guys can go out there and get it done multiple times. But I do think in the last 2 weeks, I think we've seen some of these freshmen kind of get over the hump. They've had some tough outings. Their numbers are never going to be pristine, but I just feel like a light's gone on with a few of them where they're, a little bit of enough is enough mentality, and I'm a good player, and I'm just going to go out there and let it rip. And I think we got 3-4 guys that have really turned the corner on that, and they can really help us down the stretch here.
This is one your team should be really excited about, and it's one that you go in and play well. And that's one of those carryover series, man. And hopefully you get some momentum from it by going out and playing well.
Yep, and I agree with that. And we have the pieces, and we just kind of got to put it all together. And when we do put it together, it can be real special. But that consistency piece every game for a 4-game series is just we're a little lacking in that. But man, we're good enough. We can just put it all together.
What would it be? What was the weather like on Saturday in Coffeyville?
It wasn't bad. The wind was blowing out of the north at about 8 to 10. A little chilly when we got there, but it was actually a pretty fair day, really.
are you looking forward to a day when the wind doesn't blow? I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it really would. And I was thinking about that walking in as my hat about blew off.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just, maybe we've had like days where it's been crazy windy in other seasons, but the consistency of just
But,
every day
yeah.
with this is pretty wild. And we're used to it to a point, but man, usually 15, 20 every day. It's like, okay, you get used, but now we're talking about 35, 40. It's on the consistent, it seems like, every day we play. So.
Well, according to Corson, it doesn't matter when, and the wind's blowing like that. So you ever have to have a calm day, it may screw everybody up,
It
you know?
might.
You get too much of a break on the ball and go back too far. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it really might. And it used to be, to me, I remember it seemed like it always blew in or out from left field. And now we've gotten a lot more crosswinds these last couple years, especially this year, too.
A west wind
Yeah.
against Cali last week. That
Yeah,
was,
which is, it's not the one you want because that wind starts kind of, if it gets too west, it'll start blowing in the dugout. Usually north and south are blocked in our dugout, but get those east and those west, it can get a little bit funny.
Brett, thanks for coming in
Yep.
today, and good luck. And 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
Yeah, 1
Yep.
o'clock both days
Yep,
for now.
head on
Yep.
out to Lawson Biggs Field. That's a big series coming up against Hutch. Appreciate it.
Yep.
We're going
Thank
to
you.
take a break. Jim Mizuno is coming up next here on Sports Day.
Don't want to be tied down by a wireless contract? Get the service you deserve with NextTech Wireless Advance Pay. There's no contracts and no credit checks. Plus, you can get unlimited talk and text with 22 gigabytes of high-speed data for only $25 a month. Make the switch now and get a device on us. NextTech Wireless. Home on the range.
Get the power you need for your farm equipment. The power of peace of mind that dependable Cenex lubricants deliver. With decades of proven off-road performance backed by the industry-leading Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty. Cenex heavy-duty diesel engine oils, hydraulic fluids, gear lubricants, and greases are formulated to provide superior protection for load-bearing equipment. The power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Introducing Ag Mechanics at Barton Community College in partnership with Case New Holland Top Tech. Hands-on training in areas like electrical, hydraulics, and diesel engines, with technicians gaining the knowledge and skills needed to start a career with CNH Level 1 training. Join this high-demand field at a CNH dealership in only 9 months. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at toptech.bartoncccc.edu.
He's covered more big games than anyone else in the Golden Belt. He might be on your sideline, in your gym, or just about anywhere there's a game. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Jim is in today.
Yes, sir.
Are you seeing the finish line right now? I mean, is it, the sports seasons are coming to an end?
Yeah, it's been good spring weather by and large, except for the wind.
Yeah,
And Saturday was really nice. The wind was down, but then, was that Sunday? It was.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, it was Sunday. Sunday the
fine.
wind was
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now the wind's back. So that creates all kinds of interesting things, no matter what sport you're playing. So, but it's been very dry, so everything's been scheduled except for one day where the wind was really bad.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get some rain coming up here this week. Okay, just we'll start Great Bend baseball first. Your impressions on the 3 games they played up in DeSoto over the weekend.
That competition will help them. There's no doubt DeSoto is 14-2, so that's a quality team. Spring Hill's a quality team. And Aquinas is, they've played them at the state tournament. So 3 really good perennial baseball teams on the east side. And it's nice to see some different teams. The best thing that Great Bend did is they finally stopped going to that Hayes tournament. That didn't do them any good whatsoever. So it gives them an opportunity to go somewhere else and play 4 games against quality competition. When you get down to the end of it, Hayes and Great Bend are both tied for the 5th seed in 5A West, both 11-5. If Great Bend happens to be 4 and Hayes 5, that would be something else. It seems like it happens about every other year when Hayes and Great Bend are 8-9 or 4-5 or whatever. It just is amazing the math works out that way. But when you get to regional, you basically have 2 games with Carson Humphreys starting, they're good for one game for sure. And they've got enough pitching with Hunter Herman, Owen Kaiser, and Daxton Minton to cover another game. So as far as pitching goes, they're good to go. The thing about the full schedule is now you try out all those other guys to see, well, maybe somebody can close the game, and maybe you can define that guy who can come in the 6th or 7th inning and get 3 or 4 outs. So, but as far as the pitching end, they're going to be fine for regional because you would imagine Carson Humphreys will do game 1, and it'll be the other team not scoring a whole lot of runs, so you don't have to score a whole bunch of runs, and now you're in the final, and you just piece together that game 2. So Great Bend will definitely have a shot. That's a great thing about baseball is it just comes down to 2 really good baseball games. Now on the girls' side, 14-5, 7-2. It's basically if they win 3 games this week against Garden City, they've got a shot at the WAC. Probably if they lose 1, it'll be tough. If they lose 2, they'll be done. Because I don't imagine that Hayes will lose to anybody but Garden. They've still got 2 games with Garden, and right now 5-1. So I think Garden could split with them. So if Great Bend would happen to sweep this week against Garden, they'll have a shot. I think if they lose 1, they're probably in trouble.
It's kind of hard to tell what Garden is. I think they played like 11 games or something like that. They haven't played too many.
Yeah, the nice thing for Great Bend girls is that they're 14-5, so they got 19 games in the house, which is a huge advantage because a lot of the other teams are like 11-5, 10-5. So they've already got that 4 or 5 extra wins. So really, if they go out and play great softball this week and win 3 games, they'll be in great shape. Right now, they're 4th in the West, and they'd have a home site. So they really need to win at least 2 of 3 with Garden. If they can win all 3, they'll be in great shape.
Some area baseball and softball teams that you're watching here headed.
Well, Hoisington girls softball and then Larned boys baseball, both very competitive teams. Hoisington has a very tough regional, facing the 2 teams that they've faced the past 2 years in the regional final. Southeast Saline beat them last year. They're 9-1. And then Hoisington beat Beloit, the other team, 2 years ago in the final, 1-0. So very tough. And if Hoisington could win out, they'd have a shot of winning the top seed. But if not, they're going to have to beat both Beloit and Southeast Saloon, which would be it'd be a challenge, but they certainly can do that in that regional. And then Larned boys have a tougher challenge being in 4A, but they're 11th best record right now, 6th best record at 9-5, so they could climb up a couple spots. They've won 7 in a row, so they started off losing 3 or 4 to start the season, and now they're going really well. So Larned has quality pitching, and again in 4A now you're only talking about 2 games, so they've definitely got enough pitching with Reese and Caden Morgan and the other pitchers they have. They'll be in good shape in 4A regional for sure.
What do you think about Ellenwood baseball?
They've struggled a little bit. I thought they had a decent shot being 2-1A. They're 5-9. They play Hoisington today, which would be a good doubleheader to see how they stack up against a 3A team. And then they have another doubleheader later this week, I think against Kinsley. So that'll be fun. Kinsley, Maxville will get a chance to play Ellenwood. But yeah, Ellenwood's, they've struggled with their pitching depth, quality of depth, and their defense hasn't been as good as Roger Ward would like, but that's still a very competitive team. If Roger Ward's coaching your team, you've still got a shot. He'll find a way to piece that pitching together at the regional. So we'll see how that ends up going.
Well, it always sneaks up on you here. We're going to be regionals, and not for swimming. We'll have state swimming coming up here soon, and then you have tennis and things like that. That all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're in state now.
Yeah, Michael Ryan, his coach at Central Plains Tennis, has put together a tremendous team this year. Peyton Ryan, his brother, is undefeated again in singles like he's been the last 2 years. Peyton Ryan has lost 3 matches the last 3 years to 3 state champions. So the only thing he hasn't done is won the last match of the season. So he's had another tremendous season. But they've got good doubles teams. The Doty boys, Peyton and Paxton Doty, are a very competitive team, and Camden Stiles is a good singles player, and then the Nathan Cawthon, and can't remember the other guy, but they've got 4 quality entries, 2 in doubles and 2 in singles. So that'll be a team that we'll definitely watch to see whether they could maybe contend for the state tournament against the private schools.
Did Emily ever win a state?
No, she never
she-
did. No. One of the sisters won one in doubles, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Emily faced the same thing. She would always face these players in the state final who all they did was tennis. And it's, no matter how good an athlete it is, if they do that all year and you just do it for 3-4 months, it's definitely a disadvantage. But Emily played very well at the state championship matches I saw, and just wasn't quite good enough to win those championship matches. But it wasn't because she wasn't trying. It wasn't because she wasn't a good athlete. She was very competitive in those matches.
All right, Jimbo, we need to run. Anything else you want to hit us with here today?
No, just, track is ongoing, and the weather has been pretty windy for track, but
Yes.
we'll see how it goes. Kaylee Hagerman for Larned's having a good year, and Luke Fisher for Larned won the shot and discus. And then Great Bend girls, again, are piecing together very good relays, and they'll be fun to watch to see. They set a record at the Kansas relays in the medley relay, so that was nice to put another record on the board for Great Bend girls.
Okay, Jim, thanks.
You're welcome, sir.
Jim Mizunas, Great Bend Tribune, in with us here on a Monday. Coming up, Lyles Lashley. It's On the Prowl with Mike Corson here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like ASTEM therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows ASTEM therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Barton Community College enrollment days are back. Registration is now available for all sessions through July 24th. Make the enrollment process fun, fast, and simple. Reserve your spot to get everything set up for the fall semester in just one day. Visit with an academic and financial advisor, enroll in classes, take a tour of campus, and more. Visit enroll.bartonccc.edu to sign up.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by Panther track and field coach Lyles Lashley. Coach, when was the last time you guys were at the KU Relays?
Been a while back. I think it might have been when Kirby and them were there. Maybe my first year at Great Bend. We have gone in and out of between having our home meet the same weekend or this meet. Or weren't quite ready to go to KU Relays. So it's been quite a while.
So as ask a scary question, I want Lyles Lashley to educate us. What is a distance medley relay?
So the distance medley relay consists of a 1,200 leg, which is obviously 3 laps. They hand off to a 400 leg, then they hand off to a 800 leg, and then to a mile leg for the anchor.
And obviously Great Bend goes 9th overall, but I mean, the competition at KU Relays is nuts. Do you know how many states there were? I hear 5 or 7.
I think there are about 7 states, and it's the best of the best. So it's always good competition.
Yeah. So Great Bend runs a 12:50, beats the school record. Nobody had gone faster than a 13:07 heading into that weekend in Kansas. So it's not an event you get to see a lot. So just pleased the girls had fun maybe and ran away.
Yeah, they had fun. We were kind of giggling before, and with Sadie, she's on the school record, the 4x1. So we were like, we're going to break school record of the DMR. So that's a great little combo, 4x1 DMR. Just sounds like a good little range there. So we were laughing about that. And then Eliana got mad because she realized that she was on the previous DMR school record, and we kept her fresh so she could run the 800, the open 8 fresh. So she got mad because she wasn't able to get on there.
Yeah, and what's that like for an Eliana Beckham? She cut 2 seconds off her time and finishes 21st, so she's ranked number 8th in 5A, but again, a stellar field. How does that work for the distance kids? Are they running their own race, or are they trying to keep up with anybody?
No, I mean, we had a goal going in there. Her goal was to, with the Salina Central girl, to give her a run for the money, and she actually had her beat to about the last 30 meters. The girl will have at regionals, and, she'll be trying to do two or three events there. So, we knew if she ran with her, she'd run fast, faster than she's run all year. And the nice thing with her is I like to gauge it where they were this time last year. She's about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of that, where she was last year. So she's definitely heading in the right direction.
And 4x8 team, so there was 4 heats. That's a lot of 4x8s. Great Bend kind of gets in the third one, so it's some fast teams, but not the fastest. But I'm watching them line up from behind them. The team from Lafayette looked like a college team, and then they cracked, I think, the top 5, so they ran faster than some teams in the final heat. What was the mindset going into that 4x8?
We thought we were going to run well. Eliana been a little bit sick, so I was real happy that she ran 2:21, that day before. But then when she came back, I think that sickness, not to make excuses for her, but I think that sickness got it up to her, and then she went 2:29 on the 4x8. So that obviously did. But I thought the other girls did a good job of fighting back and trying and staying in the race and doing well. It wasn't their best day, but it was definitely a very respectable day for them. I think when we all get healthy, Reese has been battling a little sickness also. I think it's kind of going around, but she had a big weekend where her PR going into that was 2:30, and she split 2:24 to 2:25 on both the 4x8s. So I thought it was a good weekend for her. And then Addie's showing progression, and Sienna too. Sienna had a good 1200 leg the day before, and then just didn't have quite her best 4x8. But I think that they're heading in the right direction also.
Talking to Panther Track and Field coach Lyles Lashley, field side, Macy Noctegal goes up there, probably not in the finals until she goes 133-1 in the final throw of the javelin prelims. Just how pleased to see her get to make the finals in an event like that.
Well, I think the most impressive thing was to see her respond on that third throw. I mean, she had a great series, but on that third throw, she was, I think, 11th going into there, and it was nice to see her throw it out there, get a little PR, but also, more importantly, making the finals and getting the medal at the Kansas Relays. I was very happy for her.
And the boys' side, Cooper Omont, your lone representative in the triple jump, didn't quite get his top mark, but just how nice of an experience to get to go against the best from several states.
It's a great experience for him. I mean, he was the only freshman. There weren't any sophomores there either, so he was the only really underclassman that was having a chance to compete there. So, I mean, he's so young, and especially in the triple jump. That triple jump, almost 5 or 6 weeks now. It's just pretty impressive to see that what the progress he's made.
And KU Relays, I've been going a few years now. Kind of what is the process? Because I know it's just cool to run at a college facility, but to even run at this thing, you have to have qualifying marks.
Yeah, they only allow a certain amount of people. It seems like they allowed everybody and their grandmother to 4x1. But besides that, it's they only allow, I think, some events 24, the best 24, and they can take times and effort from last year. So sometimes it's kind of bogus because you got a kid that maybe not just performing as well as they were last year that knocks your people out. So we had a few people that got knocked out because of it, but it's part of it. But so yeah, it's just the best of the best as far as that goes.
Yes, yeah. Great Bend maybe didn't finish as high as they normally do at some local stuff, but just a fun experience for the kids to get out there and see that competition in that facility.
Absolutely, and we had some really good. We took the rest of our team to Butte on Friday. God, we had a lot of good PRs too, especially in the mid-distance races. Then the distance races too. I mean, Ismael Ramirez had a big PR. So Taven had 2 PRs, and then Brother Moore dropped a huge PR. He went from 210, 210, never broken 210. He ran 204 like 01, I believe, in the 8. And, he's actually ranked in the top 4 of the region right now. So we had some nice things happening too at Buhler. So it was. I think they had better weather than we did.
Probably wasn't hard to beat. Where are you guys headed this week?
We head back to Topeka Seaman to run against the big dogs again. So you got the Seaman girl, you got the Slaughter Centers going there this year. So it's going to be some hot races going on there. So we're looking forward to driving out there. But unfortunately, we won't be able to take our full team because they kind of have a few standards too, where you got minimum marks and some things in the field events, and it's just some things that. We have a few kids that won't have a chance to compete, but we'll come back next week at Slime Central with a full squad.
Yeah, so 3,200 meters, what was that? This weekend at KU, 3 top 40 national times. 2 of those girls will be at Topeka Seaman, so that'll be fun for the Great Bend girls.
Actually, 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, if you throw in the other South Central girl, she went too far off of them, so that's pretty impressive field of athletes we got 2 weeks in a row.
Yep. Good luck to you and the Panthers this weekend, Coach.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
More Sports Day after this.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Steve Webster and Mike Hesher left in the studio. It's kind of like the battle of attrition on this show. You know, we start with 4. Well, today we're only 3, but then, we end up with just you and me, Hesh, here in the studio. So
well, people are busy, Webby.
I understand that. I understand that completely. Programming note, and I should have sent this out on an email this morning, Hesh. In fact, I should have done it this weekend when I was thinking about it.
No Royals game Thursday.
And Friday.
NFL draft?
No, because Thursday the Royals have a day game against Toronto. And then they go to Detroit, and they've got an 11:30 start on Friday. So no Sports Day Thursday or Friday, which I guess it kind of works out cool because we'll have day 1 of the NFL draft. We'll have day 2 of the NFL draft starting at 5 o'clock on Friday, 6 o'clock on Thursday. And then we'll have Royals baseball in the afternoon.
So is Aaron Clark on assignment to finish up his mock draft?
I don't know.
He was down to 4 or 5 picks last time I checked.
Well, he wanted me. When his name's Mel Kiper, I'll read it. Okay, but that's what he wants to do, and he yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. Hopefully, he gets it done, so he's back in tomorrow for sports. We'll talk to you on the Tuesday Sports Day show on KVGB.